Greetings, welcome to Combe TV. I'm hoping this is working okay. I'm having some problems with my internet at the moment, so bear with me and I will get it all improved and hopefully it'll be all okay. The good news is you're not going to hear too much from me. For those of you who know, it's probably not a bad thing because sadly I lost my cat 2 days ago. It was run over and I'm still a bit fragile. I'm still on the gin and having fun, and I'm going to be having even more fun than usual because I have to say I'm being joined by two absolute nutters, point one, in the best, most lovable kind of way, and I can see him in the back room. And good to see that Martin Bennett's enjoying the gin as well by the looks of it. And secondly, these boys know what we're going to cover tonight because it is the motorbike weekend, the Grand National this weekend at Castle Combe. I would have been part of the commentary team with these guys, and I really desperately want to because I haven't done it there yet. I have commentated on bikes, but not at Combe yet. But I'm not available this weekend, and I was gutted. Mr. Bennett was he says he's determined to get me along one time, and we're going to do it. But I'm going to bring the main guys on this time, and let me bring in Martin Bennett and of course Rob Jones. Good evening, gents.
There he is.
You
Are you there, Chris?
Yeah, we're fine. We're absolutely lovely, mate. And thank you very much for all the nice compliments.
Are you there, Chris?
Well, listen, Martin, let me hand over to you while I sort out the internet back here. You give us a bit of an insight into this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris, thanks very much for the insight of the pair of us. You're not too far of a mark, and yes, we are going to get you. Because I want to hear your voice on point two when you've got about 30 odd bikes heaving at you through the chicane, similar to Mr. Jones done about 2 years ago when I dragged him out the pits and said, "You're commentating with me because I haven't got anybody with me." Rob, what can we say? This weekend is building and building and building, isn't it? It's just getting bigger and better.
Yeah, it is. I mean, this meeting always brings some riders out of the woodwork, doesn't it? They all love Combe. It's fast and flowing. Let's see. We even had an entry at first from Daniel Cooper, but I think he's pulled it, hasn't he? We got young Aaron Wywood coming out of retirement.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's on the BMW S1000 RR, which is a fearsome piece of kit. I really don't like those bikes. They're too big, too quick, and I've seen them falling down the track. He's got one of those, and he's got a 400. The 400 will last probably about a day, knowing Aaron. We know what he's like with a 400. He is the Prince of Darkness as regards destruction on that one. The Phoenix Motorcycles Open is also the King of Combe, which is the headliner for this weekend. And without the likes of Dan Cooper, obviously Josh Day, and a number of other people, we are looking at a pretty open King of Combe. I would say, looking at the entry list, I've got paperwork all around me. It's just ridiculous. It's almost like a commentary box in here. You're looking at Max Simmons probably to be the favourite. He's been doing junior Supersport. He's been doing Superstock in BSB and carding up some good results on that one, doing some wildcard rides. Dave McKay is going to be in there as well on the True Heroes bike. So I believe is Dave Sellers, which is his teammate in the True Heroes garage. He's going to be quick as well. TJ Toms is a bit of a wild card. We know he is very good. Again, he is another stock 1000 rider, but he is riding the CBR Fireblade, which I believe is Dad's bike. But he was going well on that a couple of years ago until the back suspension decided to act like a pogo stick past me down on point 2. And it was just the suspension unit was getting overheated at the back. Ricky Elder, I've got to mention him because he's been giving me a load of jip, and he probably will do in the messages that are going to come from here. And he's threatened me with something, which I'll probably say at the end. He could be a factor in this. Chris Pope, if AFB Motorcycles and Andy Forbes Buckingham have got him sorted out. The R1, the new R1, which has been very problematical because of all the electronics and all sorts of things on it. If that is working well, Pope is a quick rider. There's all sorts of people that could come up into it. Even some 600s. Like George Edwards is out, and he's being coached by Dan Cooper and been getting quicker and quicker. And I've heard that, that James Ball might be coming along as well with his 600. 636 Kawasaki, if you're going to be completely honest about this. So, yeah, you're going to have your work cut out down at the bottom, mate, down at Old Paddock. Is he frozen?
Yeah, probably at my end. Sadly, he did come out and back in again. So it's breaking up very badly. No problem. Well, let me.
Hello, lads. It's breaking up very badly.
I'm over here, Dad.
Is it
let
more...
me just very. Probably a bit of both. I seem to be having some issues here. I think with the temperatures, we've got all sorts of issues, haven't we? But let me just very quickly. I'm going to put up RE Performance UK. Let the abuse begin, they say.
That's Ricky Elder. He is threatening. I'll bring this in now while you're messing around, Chris. He's threatening to take certainly myself, and I think Steve Bostock. Now, Ricky does lots and lots of things with Audi R8s and 10s. He's threatening to bring an awesome piece of kit down to the track, and he's trying to blag a couple of laps.
Come out of it.
Yeah. So I don't know how many brake horses this thing's got, but evidently he's been turning. And if you're listening to this, Chris, 1 minute 12s.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And evidently, this is a plan to shut me up. But I think I will try. Hopefully, if we're allowed to take the thing out on track, I will.
We've all tried to do that, Martin, and we've all failed. So.
Yeah. Oh no, I'll jump in the seat. I've got absolutely no qualms whatsoever, and they can clear up the mess afterwards. It's not my fault. I will try and do it on board and put it on Facebook Live. I am no Jeremy Clarkson. I am not going to scream like hell. So you will hopefully get a reasonable lap if we're allowed to take it out. We'll have to speak to somebody. But I'm sure I'm going to come in for a lot of it this weekend. But we've just got so much to cram in. Rob's just done a track day today, of which he's done an ACU licensing test for a number of riders. We've got the test day on Friday, which obviously means that we've got people that are coming down on the Thursday evening. They're going to be taking bikes out in preparation for the weekend. As we've said, we've got the Phoenix Open, which is the King of Combe for the Rodney Gooch Trophy. Now, there is the official Rodney Gooch Trophy. Yeah, he's something to be held. It really is. It's when you mention the word Rodney Gooch, it's one of those ones where I have to take a pause because Rodney was a lovely guy, and he just was always great, absolutely always great to me. And it's fair that the bike trophy should be named after him, but we've also got a permanent trophy that the winner can have, which has been made up by one of our photographers, Colin Hill, and it's made up of old engine parts. It's done off, and it is absolutely fantastic. It really is, and that's theirs to have and to hold all the time. So whoever is King of Combe this year for 22 is going to have a permanent reminder of that. Rob's I can see Rob down in the corner.
He's struggling there, isn't he? Let's pop you back there, Rob. It's okay, don't panic, mate. Rodney Gooch, I mean, a wonderful, wonderful guy, and he definitely loved his two-wheel racing as well, didn't he? He was obviously the sales and marketing director at Castle Combe, and it was him, the late Rodney Gooch, and the late Howard Strawford were the two that gave me the break for the commentary to join the commentary team at Castle Combe 11 years ago now, I think it was. And it's just absolutely fitting and lovely that there is, a Rodney Gooch trophy, and here to that one. Ari Performance still giving you grief, though, I noticed. Done some of your best commentary whilst on the gin, apparently.
Absolutely. I mean, I've learned from you. It's just handed down through the line at Combe, isn't it? I mean, you at least nobody comes up into the commentary box and takes it away from you. Oh, by the way, sorry, I meant to do it at the beginning. Meet Tarquin. This is nice stuff. This is. You want to have a go at this, mate? Yeah, I mean, my memories of Rodney are as yours. I came in at Combe, and you get thrown in at 3, which is great. And you think you've got it all worked out, and then all of a sudden Rodney will come tearing out of the Strawford building or something like that and go, "Oh, can you just mention this and this and this?" And you're going, "Okay." But he just says it in such a nice way. You can't say, "No, I've got this all worked out." But he was brilliant on getting people back into the track. All the celebrities we've had come along. Admittedly, we're not doing that at the moment. We've got a full race program. Perhaps in a few years' time, we can bring all these people back, like the parishes, God help us, the Guy Martins and things like that we can then put the parades in. But at the moment, we're just absolutely stacked up with racing. To which point I will move on slightly. The ACU National Championship for 250 GP and 125 GP bikes is absolutely a boiling pot at the present moment in time. We have got such a mixture of riders at the top end, and the scenarios and stories that are going around that at the moment are really fantastic. We've got our series leader. Put them on, find the points, Martin. Simon Hunt is the series leader by 3 points. He's going over to the Manx Grand Prix. They were trying to work out whether they could win the lottery and get a helicopter and get him back again. That's the story there. Tommy Lawler, genuinely a lovely guy, Irish rider, comes across from the Emerald Isle to race with us for every round. He's in second place, 199 points. Then we Rockets, Bobby Vary and Jim Hind. They will wipe the floor with these guys because they are so quick. Rob will back me up on that one if we can get him back in. But first race of the season, Bobby Vary in practice, Alton Park, off the bike, into hospital straight away, broken collarbone. He missed 2 rounds. Then he came back, and then he's missed Pembrey because he bounced himself off the floor yet again. Jim Hind came in, missed a couple of rounds as well, but every time he's come in, he has only dropped 5 points. Bearing in mind, he says holding 4 feet. Bearing in mind, there are 75 points for each race. Those four are fighting out tooth and nail between each other, and this is going to go down to the wire at Anglesey. And this is going to be for what my colleague before me, Russell Gardner, used to say. This is to go to where the big boys get trophies. This is where every single British champion goes to, which is up to rugby, to the dinner dance, get your best suit out, etc. What happens this weekend is going to have such a bearing on that championship. We're sitting there with abacuses and calculators working out who's going to do who and what and where. I almost predict that Vary and Hind are going to be taking lumps of each other and trying to take points away from each other. Tom Lawler could be the benefit of this. He could sit there, wait for them to basically get all tangled up, which they could do, and take the points away and take the lead of the championship. And then Simon Hunt's got it all to do when he comes back. Are you still following, Chris? But
yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. And I think we've got Rob with us now, by the way, properly.
Yeah.
You're with us properly.
What I've done is I've gone onto my phone now. I'm afraid I've only got one earbud because the other one's faulty. So you might have to speak up. But at least we got it clear again now.
Oh dear.
That's fine. We'll just keep our voice up, Gramps. Is that all right?
That's it. And I haven't got my finger in my ear. It's holding my earbud in.
You're doing the reporter bit, aren't you? The live reporter.
I am, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Jonathan
I'm
Pye.
sorry. This. Yeah, he's doing his David Coleman. I'm sorry, I've got to come back with a small story, and which will probably get told on Friday. I was talking to him at Pembrey, and I said, "Bob, you got to listen to what I'm saying." And he looked at me and he said, "You know, I'm half deaf, don't you?" And I'm thinking, now he tells me halfway through the season. Now he tells me, and I said, and when I went half deaf, I thought he meant it in one ear, and I said, "Which side?" And he goes, "Oh, it doesn't matter." And I'm like, "Really? Oh, God." And I thought, "Oh, we've got 2 days worth of work." I mean, you don't know what a joy it is working with you, Chris. It's been an adventure this year, but it's been fantastic because I think it's a case of, I think we're reflecting the atmosphere in the paddock upstairs. We've had some real fun, some real fun, and we've seen the riders come around to us, and you can walk around that paddock and you can go and talk to anybody and they will be welcoming. And this is to anybody that's listening, that's not a motorcycle person, is a car person, or is just interested in Castle Combe TV or interested in the circuit. You will get full access to the paddock. You will be able to go up. If you're a family person, you've got a couple of kids, and you go up to a rider, providing they're not taking the bike to pieces and it's not in a million bits all over the place and they're not ready to, they're trying to get out of the game, you can go and talk to the rider. You can ask them what class they're in, how they're doing, etc., etc. The kids can sort of like have a look at the bikes, and you get pictures of them on the bikes, etc., etc. This is just such an open paddock. It is so different. It's Castle Combe paddock as we know it with the cars, but it is such a different paddock from, say, BSB or something like that. It's brilliant to come to. Absolutely brilliant. And I kid you not, you'll have a whale of a time, an absolute whale of a time this weekend. The variation in classes is brilliant. We've even got the Lansdowne Classics back, which is taking Castle Combe right the way back to where it started in the 50s with John Surtees, Mike Aylward, etc. Because with these guys, Manx Norton's G50 mattresses, Castle Combe is going to echo, sorry, Rob, is going to echo to the sound of singles, the big twins as well, because we've seen a Triumph Thunderbird and a Vincent Rapid in there as well. So there is all sorts of bikes for you to see, and it will cater for everybody, from the elder bikes, from the people that say, "I remember that, my dad used to have that," or so-and-so used to race one of those, down to the new junior Supersports, which are 400cc 250s.
Right, get a word in, Martin, for a second.
Yeah.
Based on that, let me just quickly say that practice starts, free practice for all riders, 8:40 a.m, and then the qualifying gets underway as soon as that is completed. Unlike for anybody who goes for the cars, where everything's kind of got a specific time, it's not really quite like that, certainly when you look at the timetable, which you can get from going to castlecombecircuit.co.uk, and then you go to this particular event, the racing event. All morning is qualifying, lunch break around about 1:30 p.m. and then it's races in the afternoon. 11 races to get through in the afternoon. The next day, Sunday, 8:40 a.m. warm up, 4 sessions. And then it's racing wall to wall throughout the whole day, and so much to watch. So it's absolutely perfect on that front. And just quickly, let's bring in some of the comments, because plenty of you have been messaging, and thanks, guys, appreciate it. And apologies that the start was a bit broken up with my internet connection. But my dad says, gentlemen, start your engines. Hello, mate. It's good to see you there. Andy Lawrence says, good evening from the Bristol. Oh, I got mental block with the emotions of me going through Bristol Motor Club, I think is the word I'm looking for. Chris Rea says, evening all. Ask Rob how his back is. Nice earphones, by the way, Rob. How's your back, Rob?
It's a bit better than it was this afternoon.
What's this all about?
I pulled me back a bit today. I think it might have been chasing Dan Cleary round the track that did it.
I thought you were going to say chasing the girls then, you big tart, but no, not that this time. Kevin Rachel Clayton says, Kevin Rachel Clayton watching. So he's tuned in. Craig Harris, Martin still has a hamster to power his internet. I think it's my fault, to be honest. It's me that's playing up this time. In fairness, you were defended by Angela saying, Craig Harris, don't knock the hamster. That's your good lady, isn't it, from memory?
It is. She's riding shotgun for me. Anything that comes on this derogatory, I've got my backup. She will get them. She will get them. And I mean, she will get them.
She's feeding the hamster as well, by the sounds of it, so that's fine. RE Performance say 600 brake horsepower road car. I think this was referenced to earlier. R8 V10 plus my own car. So
sorry about this, lads.
Go on, Rob. What was that, mate?
Can you hear me?
Yes, mate. Perfectly, loud and clear.
Sorry, can you hear me? Because I'm having problems here with my earphones now. So
no,
I won't explain what I've done, but yeah, right, okay, that's fine. Sorry about that.
This is legendary. This is legendary. Definitely is. Ben Hayward says, cracking track day today, Rob. Many thanks. So Ben, thanks you for that one. Russell Gardner says, my mate Freddie not coming then.
Oh, you had to put that one in, didn't you, Gardner? Freddie Spencer,
yes,
former world champion, 500cc world champion, 250 world champion. That's the time when I was over at number 2, and Russell said, and I was going through a whole spiel of stuff, and Russell said to me, I don't ask you this very often, Martin, but shut up. And then I went, oh, okay. And then Spencer came up. Now, normally when you get a guest rider driver come up and see you, you think, okay, this is a 10-minute PR thing and what have you. 2.5 hours with a world champion. He sat there for 2.5 hours with him. I was as jealous as hell. I normally am because I can't get an ice cream around the back end of the circuit. But he was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I sat there mesmerized listening to him because he just went through so many things about history. He even critiqued somebody's riding style and said to them what they could do, and while they were going around the track doing a race. That was a brilliant, brilliant day, that was. And I think from that, somebody from, I think, Eurosport heard him. And then, lo and behold, he was then on the television doing colour commentations and things like that. But that was fantastic. Yes, thank you, Russell.
Yeah. Is Russell still part of the team? He's not commentating there, is he, this weekend?
No. He's gone and he's digging his garden and playing with his caravan and drinking beer, as far as we can tell on Facebook.
Semi-retirement, fair enough. That's a shame. It'd be good to catch up with him at some point. I ignore that message. Richard James Hewitt says, good evening.
Mr. Hewitt, who has his picture yet again on Castle Combe's post. I think it was on the circuit post that they put out of his 400 blowing up. I think at camp, leaving a huge, great trail of smoke behind him like a World War II destroyer. See you later, Mr. Hewitt.
Yeah, fair dues. Lewis Rees says Matt Jones' caravan will be open all hours at Combe. That's probably an
I'm not
invite for
going there.
Robin Beers, isn't it?
I
That's
am
Robin
not.
and Beers, probably.
No. This is one to avoid completely and utterly. Lewis Rees and Matt Jones, wide berth, huge wide berth.
Actually, yes, because I've already ignored one of Matt Jones's email. I'm not putting it up there, that's for sure.
I can guess.
Yeah, quite.
Yeah.
Richard James said that's old age. Emma, good evening, Emma Strawford. Evening. Oh, I know she'll be really excited
That's
about
old
this
age.
weekend. Oh, we've lost Rob again now. I'll pop him down there.
Yes, Princess of Media. We have to be nice to her.
Yeah, she loves her two-wheel racing in particular, doesn't she? So that would be great. John Wright says, evening, gents. I'll watch the highlights later. Got a motorbike to build.
I should build it and hurry up and come out, Mr. Wright. We haven't seen you for a long time. ZX10 Kawasaki should be in stock 1300s. Former champion in a number of classes as well. It's about time you came out and gave your... He's done too many holidays and not enough racing.
Okay, fair enough. Damon Smith says, evening, everyone. Putting these up.
Damon Smith is the person. If ever you want to get some, Damon Smith, Club 23. He races in stock 1300 with a ZX10 Kawasaki. If you ever want anybody to assist you in getting sponsorship, Damon is the person to do it. His bike is covered in names of people that subscribe to Club 23. You pay £23, you get a newsletter, you get photos, you get stickers and all sorts. He's a lovely guy. And he drags in sponsors, literally meeting by meeting. He is a brilliant businessman. He is the fastest ambulance driver in the Southwest, because that is his job. And the only way to make him go faster, I've said, is to put a blue light on the damn thing, and he will. But he is a brilliant motorcycle businessman with the sponsorship he drags in for his bike, which obviously it's off to him. He could really, come down to Coop, explain to people how he does it, because it's obviously the money side of things is hugely tight at the moment. Cracking. I will see you at the weekend, Damon.
Yeah, and I love that fact that I see many racers that do the sort of just enough sponsorship to get through, and little and often that kind of thing. And it scares me though when you say stickers, because that reminds me of Winner and his stickers everywhere.
Oh, don't. There's
Sean Wynne's probably left them all over Ireland and everything. Yeah.
He's left them in every single country. He even left them this year, and I was horrified. He complained about he was in Greece or something like that, and he got upgraded to basically was residential or something like that. And the next thing you saw was pictures. I mean, this is ridiculous. He posts pictures of where he put his stickers, and you're thinking, don't do it. Really don't do it. But up in this hotel room, there was stickers all over the shop. I think there's been they're on aeroplanes everywhere.
It was good to see that Sean Wynne's been back out racing again, because he had a big one earlier this year, didn't he?
He had a big one the last time we did Coombe. He was a victim of Bybrook tyres, which has been a bit of a thorn in a number of people's side. Can you Rob grumbling?
I know he is grumbling away there, isn't
he? I think he got torpedoed a bit by somebody, which pushed him into the tyres. Now the tyres go out for the cars, because the cars don't like hitting tyres, but for some reason or other, the tyres were out at Bybrook, and he really did wallop into those. And it took, I think, something like about 6 months and a lot of physiotherapy and a lot of bone crunching to get him back into shape. But the silly old fool, with all due respect, has been out on the Irish road scene this year already, which is crazy. It's like basically racing between Yat and Kennel, down Kent's Bottom, through Castle Combe, and then out over the other side. It's bonkers. It really is bonkers the way that they race in Ireland, but they love it. They absolutely love it. And Sean seems to have taken to it like a duck to water. I don't know how, but they love him out there. I think he's an adopted leprechaun or something or other.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, he probably is. Just going through the messages again is Matt Jones. I'm going to risk this one. Is anyone at Castle Combe now? Is Lee Marks motorhome still rocking? Don't answer.
I'm not going to answer. I'm going to take the Fifth Amendment on that one completely and utterly.
Rob's still grumbling away, isn't he? He doesn't realise we can hear him.
As long as he keeps it clean, I think we're okay.
I don't think he can hear us, and he's getting frustrated.
Keep a copy of that because.
Oh, he's now moving back to his phone, so we'll try again. Mark Smith says, "Hey, up track day today should be a handicap applied if you attended that." That's what he thinks. Right, we'll bring in Rob on his phone
there.
now.
Really don't go there.
Yeah.
Really don't go there, Mark. If you can afford to do the 2 track days, you can afford to do the 2 track days. I know I'm going to get myself into an awful lot of trouble on this one, but we know that spaces are limited down at Combe. I'm sorry, most of the riders, probably about 80 to 90% of the riders, have ridden Combe before. They haven't changed anything. The track is still in the same place as it was. If you know your racetrack, you know your racetrack. All you've got to do is settle your bike in which you will get your free sessions before qualifying. If you know how to set your bike up, you'll be done. Point in case, Chris Pope. Everybody thinks that Chris is an absolute flat out races with his brains in a bucket or something like that. I've seen that guy set that bike up. It's meticulous. He gets the book out. He goes, right, this is Castle Combe, turns the page over. That's the suspension settings, front, rear, tyre pressures, etc. He's got it worked out. Keep a record, keep a book, keep whatever. Everybody does the same thing. We've got somebody, if you're in trouble with the suspension, we've got 100% suspension with Colin and Diane Leader. They are there for you. You go around, my bike is not doing this, my bike is not doing that. Click, click, click. Colin will go around with his screwdriver, his spanner, or what have you. You should be sorted. Other people will tell you about tyre pressures and other things. So a track day is not everything. A track walk with Mr. Invisible, wherever he's gone down there, Mr. Grumpy.
This is a nice.
Still trying.
Is. Dude.
What timing?
Yeah. I believe Rob is doing a walk on Friday with Neil Sutton, and you'll learn more from that than you will be wearing your tyres out, using gas, using up your chain, etc. And do the sums, boys. It's money against experience. And the experience is got his finger in his ear and he's listening to us, hopefully. But yeah, that's the sort of thing you need to do, is listen.
I'm afraid I'm having awful technical problems here. I'm very, very sorry, lads.
It's all right, mate. Don't worry. I love this one, by the way. Harley Preble says, it's like watching Last of the Summer Wine. And I'm putting that one on you, boys, not me. I'm putting that one on you, boys. That's not aimed at me. It can't be.
We'll have to work out who's who on this one, on who's Compo, Clegg and Foggy on this one. Yeah, I mean... what did Harley Preble just say? Sorry.
I've got to add this as well, by the way, is that Sarah Lee Marks says, I hope not, Matt, as I'm at home. Now, let's just remind everyone that Matt said, is anyone at Castle Combe now? Is Lee Marks' motorhome still rocking? So Sarah has said, I hope not, because I'm at home. Stir it up.
I expected this to go downhill, but not as quickly as it has done. I bet you're glad we only do one bike meeting a year.
Your good lady's getting involved with the message that I can't put up in the
back. Yeah, Sarah Lee Marks is, yeah. Oh, Oh, you see nothing, mate. I'm going to take you a tour of the Bandits pit in one evening when we're down at Combe.
But just to also point out, by the way, while I get the chance, is thank you, Angela, for reminding me, is that we also need to say happy birthday for yesterday to our very own Martin Bennett as well. Happy birthday for yesterday, mate.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, I'm catching you up, Jonesy. Yeah. I was absolutely treated royally today. I really was. I was told not to do anything at all, which I would say goes against the grain. But then people would probably say that it probably, I've got to say, yeah, thank you. I will publicly say, because I haven't been able to put my Facebook post out, which I will do. Yes, thank you so much to all the people that send me messages. I was just overwhelmed with it, really am. And you'll pay for it later on, the ones that didn't. It was a cracking day.
You've been ticking them off, haven't you? Right, they didn't.
Yeah.
Jason Wyeth says,
Evening, Jason. Good to see you. Hope to see you. I assume that you're going to be with Dee down with his very slow Bandit, and lots of Irish help, I believe, out there as well. I'll be on the other side of the fence this weekend listening, so no swearing. I thought that was your prerogative. Oh, that's the one. That's one we can do. We've been pulled up, myself and the illustrious Mr. Gardner. Somebody said that they heard some strange language, as it were. And Russell used to listen to each other instantly. You do whoever too, because you watch out for each other. No, we didn't. Absolutely no way, not whatsoever. And I was having messages from the Princess and media, etc., because somebody had walked into to there and said, we heard them say this. The next day, we've got Steve Parrish down at number 3 doing the presentations. And all of a sudden, the mic slipped out of his hand, to which we had, oh, king shit. And we went, oh, God, not again. Okay, so Russell is immediately on the case and issuing apologies left, right, and centre. And I'm over the other side, and I've got the mic turned, and I've got my head in my hands, and I'm killing myself laughing, thinking it was going to happen at some stage, but not to us. We've got to be so careful. What was it? Don't forget your certificates for the weekend. We'll do that in a minute. All right. Behave. I can't get away from it. She should know the running order.
She should know the running order.
Yeah, I know. The running order has gone out the window, I think, somewhere along the line. Have you got any more people that Miss Belinas?
Absolutely loads. Let's catch up with this. Right, Craig Hallis. Well, bike's still not running, so guess who's pulling another all-nighter at the racetrack? So that's not good news.
Oh, dear.
Lee Mark says, looking forward to tuning into the commentary.
That sounds about right. Craig.
Oh, Martin's a little bit behind us by the sounds of that. Sorry, Martin.
And he rides a 600 Bandit in the Suzuki Bandit Challenge, which was a 700-pound piece of scrap, I think is the word for it. It can still be ridden on the road. Yes, don't you start. It was bought and put together in the week by Elliot Peach for Craig Harris. They finished it at Pembrey on Friday night. Sit on the Saturday. And it still had, when it arrived at the track, it still had its number plate and its rear passenger foot pegs on, and a lot of other things you do not want to go with race. So that's a pretty special bike. We call it the shopping trolley because that's what he has actually taken that bike out. It's got no side stand on it, or rather, if he takes it out to a bike run or something like that, or a bike meet at a pub, he has to find a convenient wall or a bush to park it up against. There is a story that goes with it, but I'm not going to do it because it's far too rude. But yes, Fern, you're a naughty girl. You shouldn't have done that when you were passing that BMW.
Just catch up on more comments,
slightly
Martin.
on.
Martin, let me just get through these.
Go on.
Richard James Hewitt says, birthday parties for all us kids. Martin Daniel Hewitt. Richard Kerr says, evening all, looking forward to seeing everyone this weekend. Damon Smith says, thank you for your kind words, Martin. Gary Thomas Cuts, hello all, good evening. Another one that says, Gary says, Pierce, happy birthday, young man, to you. Emma Strawford on the fighting juice.
He's trying to butter me up.
Oh, yeah, fighting juice. Exactly. We like that.
Yeah, Emma on the fighting juice.
Oh, dear.
From my record, that's either Strongbow or Stella, which I doubt it is for Emma. She'll be on the red wine. But
absolutely.
Chris Mason says, good evening all. And hopefully, if you've got the comments coming up, you'll see the circuits posted the weekend's timetable here as well. So you'll be able to see the timetable there as well. Emma's enjoying it because Ladstock is back.
Mm-hmm.
That's me.
Ladstock.
Matt Jones says, are they headphones that Martin Bennett is wearing, or is he still playing doctors and nurses with Angela Linda? Don't answer.
Jones,
Don't answer,
I am gonna.
Keep quiet.
I am gonna publicly embarrass you this weekend, big time. You can't help if you lose Reese's boyfriend, but there you go.
And just a few more. Sam Preston, hello, mate. Thanks for helping me set all this up as well. Chris Mason, our paramedic, says Rob is behind you as well. He's still in 1974. Wow. Craig O'Harris said went to Silverstone MotoGP on it. That's what he was talking about earlier, that road/race bike.
Oh, you didn't.
Would appear it, yeah. Kevin Rachel Clayton says, was racing at Combe 2013-14. Chap asked, could he have a chat with me? Yes, no problems, he said. He was thinking of starting racing. I turned around and I said to him, look at this. The guy was Damon Smith. He's my prodigy. Or prodigy or whatever.
Yeah.
I think I've got that right. But that amazing story, that one, isn't it? I'm going to quickly change it for a second and just bring in Mainsley. Now we got Rob working. I'm going to say, Rob, so you've had a busy day at the circuit getting people licensed up and ready.
Yeah, well, we a normal day, a full track day, especially just before a race meeting. And we had 16 people taking part in an ACU course. So a bit like the arts course that you host at Castle Combe. We do about 3 of them at Castle Combe, and then we do some around the country at Cadwell and such like. So track sessions, grid starts, and it's great. And in fact, I got a bit carried away and did a start myself today. I haven't done a race start for ages, and I thought, yeah, you're going to have it today.
No wonder your back's hurting then. But I think someone was saying that you were helping. I'm trying to remember where this was. There was a comment that came up earlier. I think it was in your shared post, Martin, wasn't it? That someone said about the fact that Rob had been teaching him the how to start and talking about his jump starts.
Oh,
yeah. That's getting serious about this. That was a guy called Dan Cleary. Now, I was going to go on about this, and I'm having Dan and James with me in commentary, I think, on qualifying. James Cleary runs in Junior Supersport, running third in the championship, not too far behind both first and second, who are very experienced riders. He rides with the True Heroes team, which we got this weekend, in as many bikes as they can bring down because it's their 10th anniversary. And they started at Castle Combe with Murray Hambro. So we're looking forward to bringing Phil Spencer upstairs, going through the whole 9 yards of how this started, how it's advancing, how they've got to BSB, how they've got their associate riders as well, etc. And one of them is James Cleary, who's doing well in that champion. Now, we know that True Heroes Racing is for disabled servicemen, etc., etc. James's dad, Dan, has taken his ACU test today, can race next year with True Heroes Racing and with his son as well. It's a brilliant story, and I can't wait to speak to him about him. He is still serving a member of the forces. He's in one of the cavalry regiments. I know it's strange. The cavalry are mechanised cavalry now, and he's in reconnaissance, so he's probably driving around in a Scorpion or something like that, and he'll probably hit me for that. But it's a brilliant story, and we've got to tell it on the Saturday. And yeah, it's going to be fantastic. So unfortunately, he's being taught by Rob. So
Well,
he's going to have jump starts all over the place.
Yeah, jumping back to you, Rob. He did say about ask him about his jump starts.
Yeah, I get a lot of stick. I get a lot of stick about that because back when I was racing, and it couldn't have happened in a worse place at my home circuit at Castle Combe. I did a major jump start. I think I moved about 3 rows before anyone else did, and I just kept going. Got a hell of a start. But luckily, after about 2 laps, it got stopped and there was a restart, and I got away with it. I think I was going to get awarded 20 seconds because it was that. It was a proper one. Sadly, I've never, especially from Lee Davis, I've never lived that one down, and it gets brought up on a regular basis, especially when I'm doing the briefing about start line procedures.
The thing is, you did the right thing there, because they say if you've just made that mistake, because you're on a hair trigger on the start at the best of times anyway, and if you've made that mistake, the worst thing you can do is stop.
Yeah.
And then go again, because it's too late. You've made the jump start. You're going to get the penalty, so just go. And in reality,
that's right. The thing is, if you're near the front of the grid, it's best to go. If you're on the back row, it ain't going to make any difference. Not. But if you're near the front, if you stop, that is curtains, mate. It's going to be a big pileup. So
a big pileup,
best to go.
A big pileup. But even down to basics is that it's too late. You're getting a penalty, so just go. And it doesn't tend to be a change time amount. It's like you're penalised for a jump start or an out of position start, as they call it these days in cars. But yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Just go. I mean, you just got to.
That's what we. Sorry, Chris. Yeah,
go on, mate.
Carry on.
No. All to you, mate.
That's what we tell them on the course is, if you jump, go, because it's safer to do that. Yep. Sorry about that. I interrupted you there.
No. I was just largely saying the same thing as you. Emma said, jump start Jones, bless him.
Yeah.
But I mean, just quickly on today then, Rob, I mean, does that mean that there are people that got their license to race today and are racing this weekend, or are they more for next year?
It'd be, I think, well, they could do the next round. They could do the last round at Anglesey, but it's a little bit too close for this weekend because it's got to go back through the ACU, and the ACU's got it. Yeah, so really, it's all the administration that's got to be done. So it'd be probably next year. Most of them are going to do it.
Great to see the appetite there, though, isn't it? Especially after we've had the pandemic, mayhem, is that seeing that people are just itching to get out there.
Yeah, I mean, the majority today said they're going to race, but of course, nowadays it's actually easier to get an ACU license than it is to get a road license. So if you want to do track days, sometimes getting an ACU license is a lot easier than getting your road license, and they're accepted at track days, you see. So I think sometimes some of the people actually just do it so they can get out on and do some track days.
Okay, so, and again, apologies for people watching. It'll be disgusted with my ignorance on this, you guys included. So that means that you could go and get the ACU. You're allowed out to do track days, even if you've not got a road license. You just can't go out on the road on the bike. Yeah,
some circuits are different than others, or some track day operators. But in general, if you've got an ACU license, you can do a track day. So the sad thing today is we got a youngster today, and for youngsters, 16-year-olds, they're in a real dilemma because they can't get a road license to do track day. They're too young to do track days because you've got to be 18. And, and they've got to do an ACU license. And it's, if you haven't had any experience, it's a job to get your ACU license as well. So it's a bit of a catch-22 for youngsters.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. I was always going to ask you something, Rob, is that the mini bikes is that seems to be,
Yeah.
even the superbike teams, I don't know whether it's run or support or sponsor or whatever, teams and riders in that. Have you been on one of the mini bikes?
No, not on my age, mate. I can't bend over that far now, but or I can't lift my legs that high. Where this country's got better for younger riders. I mean, back in my day, most people never started racing till they're sort of 18 or something like that, and they had some money to spend. Nowadays we got young kids, on this fab. I think it's Fab Racing. I think some of that is supported by BSB and what have you. It gives youngsters an opportunity to have a go on mini motos, and then they move up to those Metra kits. So there's sort of two. You can have the same bike in the Metra kits, which are 80cc. I think it's something like a 12-inch wheel, and then they can move up to a 16-inch wheel, if you see what I mean. But it's the same bike.
Just me at 6'3", I look at it and think, no, I don't think I'd. Grasshopper. That's what I'd look like with my legs up around there. But I mean, it does seem. I mean, I've got here, Swindon, where I live, is that there is a young lad that races, that's son of a guy that I know really well, a good friend of mine these days, called the rider himself is called Sam Munson, the Munson burner, as they call him, and it's just great to see them going through. They've still got the same dilemma when they get to a certain level. No matter how good they are, then suddenly has to come the bigger investment. But to see the superbike teams getting involved in it, it's good.
Yeah.
Well, one of our past. Sorry, Rob.
Go on.
Josh Day's boy Harrison. He's going the same route. He's on the mini bikes. He's been on the automatics. Now he's the gearbox, and now he's progressing from there. And this is a guy. Josh Day was a multiple champion with us. Moved up and was a triple Ducati Tri-Options, which is one of the support series for BSB. He was a triple champion with that. He's still got lap records with NG, which is still standing and will stand for a time. But Harrison is coming through the system. We've got people that have come through the system as well in mini bikes, and are looking at being championship material in the class. Chris Edwards is one. He was doing mini bikes. He's in his second year of racing. He's second in the championship. There we go. He's up already. Second in the championship with the Bandit Challenge. He was still wearing his orange jacket, which is the car equivalent to the cross on the back of the car with the yellow background. You've got to get 10 signatures on your license before you lose your novice jacket. He's come up through that. Yeah, exactly. I agree with you entirely, Emma, on that point there. We've got lots of people that are starting to come up through the ranks, and it will be exactly the same as the car scenario as well. You will get that far, and then you get to a plateau, and then you got to look for somebody who's going to give you a heck of a lot of money. But there's a lot of people coming through on the national and club scene that will be around in the next 5-6 years. And it's going to be coming up through the ranks of mini moto, etc. Track days, I really do have a beam about it, about track days, and Bones will have to do a whole other program about that. But well organised, well schooled and instructed track days like Castle Combe, I feel are the way to go. I'm not currying favour on that. I know the way that Combe do their track days, and I know why other people do their track days. And with the likes of Rob, Neil Sutton, etc., you've always got somebody on hand who will say to you, don't do this, don't do that, do this, try that and the other. And the bikes are obviously absolutely A1 spec when they go out there as well. So, yeah, it's got to be done the right way.
Agreed. Yeah, it's the same in cars as well, isn't it? Sorry, Rob, go on, mate.
Yeah, whilst we're on the subject of that, we actually got a partnership. We're running a skills school with Mercury Training that's based at Castle Combe. And it's a really good course. They've been selling like hotcakes. So we've got a third one in September. I think September the 14th. I think we got one, which is the last one of the year. It's 3 groups, so it's all based on clients' objectives. There is a group for people who perhaps haven't been riding for like a year or whatever, and it's about improving their road riding and a little bit of an introduction to track riding. The group I do is improving your road riding and a bit more about a lot about cornering and braking skills on the track. And then Neil Sutton runs the green group, which is basically focused on track riding. And we're actually getting some racers coming in and doing the green group. So it's proven to be really good and a beneficial course. So I'm sort of saying it myself, but it's proved very, very popular.
And that's a valid point, and I assume that's with on the green group that they practice the starts, not with you then. Is that right?
We don't, on that one, we don't do starts, but we do a lot about a thing called trail braking, Chris, which is it's teaching people how to break into corners and such like that. And we're talking braking quite hard into corners. So,
which corners at Combe then would you trail brake into?
Well, if you're pretty quick, mate, quarry, tower, especially the chicanes, you brake right into them, and then you come off the brake and you change direction, basically.
Even bobbies, because on the sort of middle apex, there's quite a dip down on that one, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you've got to keep a little bit of a wide line. You've got to keep a foot off the apex there, and you can avoid that little dip.
Yeah.
But to be honest, bike racing, if you don't break into corners, everyone's going to overtake you, mate. So you got to, and on a good set of race tires, you'd be amazed how hard you can brake with the front, and and not lose the I'll say not lose the front. We've all done it in the past, but you get the feel for it.
Do you guys still take bikes onto Combe Circuit without Bybrook in position?
No, sadly.
I mean, just for those of you watching this and don't necessarily know, is that if you've ever been up there on a car day or anything like that, is that we're used to start, finish straight, folly, up Avon Rise, into Quarry Corner, down Farm Straight. The first chicane is the S's, right, left, then round the constantly accelerating old paddock, long straight down to the sort of almost double apex, or at least long apex tower right-hander. Then you're into the second chicane, which is Bobby's. That's got quite a dip in that middle part, which is a great challenge. And then normally you're then on the power all the way down to Camp Corner, the final corner, back onto the start-finish straight. The problem was, I mean, the reason certainly the likes of Bobby's, the second chicane, was introduced is that we were getting cars suddenly trying to take Camp at like 140 mile an hour plus with minimal runoff. The problem was you buggers on the bikes, you were back up to full speed by the time you got to Camp from Bobby's chicane. And so Bybrook, if you ever go there, you'll see not that far back from Camp Corner, actually, is it? There's a bit of tarmac that goes onto the infield, and a temporary chicane is put in place. So tyre barrier across the circuit, forcing you guys to go right, left, and it's quite tight, isn't it?
Oh, it is tight. But previously, I have raced on the track before, Bybrook, and that was mint going into Camp, mate. That was so fast.
Really?
And then, of course, your exit speed from Camp was so good that obviously you were faster going through Folly, which again is that makes the air stand up on your back of your neck when you go through Folly flat. It's something else. That is.
I bet. Yeah, because that's the point. You'd be straight on it all the way up to Quarry, wouldn't you?
Oh, flat. Yeah, flat out, mate. Yeah.
The thought of without having Bobby chicane in there absolutely frightens the living daylights out of me. It really does. It goes back to a situation which we had when you were over the other side and I asked you a question. We had two very hard experienced riders come round out of Camp, and this was what, 3 years ago, Rob, I can't remember when I dragged you into the commentary box, and it was Mark Compton and Paul Willis.
Oh,
yeah. They came out of Camp side by side. You know where that hole is in the wall, Chris, where the marshals go out, the start line crew go out?
Yep.
Willis came through on the white line on his Aprilia, hooked up a gear, and the wheel shot up in the air about 2 feet. Compton was right beside of him with a 12 Panigale Ducati. That put Mark off his apex. And the next thing we saw, what I saw on pictures, all I saw was a big cloud of dust. But I saw on pictures later on that Mark was a metre off his apex. So he was on the grass. He kicked up all the dust and what have you, came off left, right and centre. Willis came off after him. I thought we're in for a whole load of downtime on this one. The next thing I saw when the dust had cleared was 2 guys picking bits of bike up. And I thought they've got 9 lives. And then I asked Rob, I said, what speed are you going through there, going out of Camp and up to Avon Rise and what have you? And he said about 165. And I'm like, that quick already. Now imagine if you come out of without Bybrook there, what the speed of a 180, 190 brake horsepower production superbike would come out of there. Never mind about it, they'd be joining me upstairs, a flyby, mission to do, etc. We've got this sorted now. Bikes are incredibly quick on acceleration. It has been proved time and time again on all these programs. Let's race a car against the bike, and the bike will go herring off into this. The power to weight ratio is phenomenal, and you think of all that going down on fire, which has probably got, we sort of like say, the contact patch is about the size of a credit card.
No,
it's
exactly.
Unbelievable. Even I marvel at it still.
Well, let's take it a step further quickly, Rob, because then I'm going to bring out a couple of comments that are probably quite good and relevant to this as well. Have you ever raced on it? We talked about pre-Bybrook you've raced on it. Have you raced on it on a bike pre-S's and Bobbies?
Not on a bike, but on a sidecar. I did my first ever race at Castle Combe in 1981 as a sidecar passenger.
You nutter.
And I'll tell you what. No. Quick.
He's.
I must admit, it was my.
What was it?
We had a. It was a 750 Honda, bored out the 970, with a pair of DCO 40 Webers on it. It was pouring with rain. And I think it was the first bike meeting he'd had at Castle Combe for a number of years. And I think it was, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Mick Boddice was on the back. He was a famous sidecar passenger because he held the lap record from years ago. And I got to admit, first lap, back then, we never had warm-up laps or anything like that. You just got out on the grid and went. And it was push starts. And I remember going in the quarry and thinking, what the hell have I let myself in for here? But it was great. I've done about 3 seasons of it and got run over by my own outfit and loved every minute of it. Well, I'm intrigued. Run over, I didn't. But
I'm intrigued that it took you until the point when you're out on circuit was the first time you said, "What have I let myself in for here?"
Yeah, well,
it never crossed your mind prior to that moment.
Well, we didn't used to have the sort of practice days or anywhere to go to practice. So we used to drive it around the housing estate when it was quiet. And we frightened the bus bloke to death because we overtook a bus going up over Moorfields Road and it frightened him to death, I think. But,
he's only joking, Your Honour. He's only joking, Your Honour.
No, he's not. He's not.
But,
talking about bravery, though, is that a very good friend of mine who lives a stone's throw from Brands Hatch and he races BMWs and what have you. And he's just an amazing charity cannonball style run. Good to hear from you, Sam, mate. Hopefully see you soon. I'm at Brands soon for 4 Power Live, I think is my next time there. Fair play to all the bike racers. Much respect from me. So this is from a 4-wheel racer that's saying this. You're all made of steel. Always great to watch. And he says also great to see BSB getting involved in supporting the youngsters. 100% agree with that.
Yeah, definitely.
And jumping back to RE Performance UK, peak brake pressure on my BMW is 15 bar, but we will be 7 to 8 bar still at 30 to 35 degree lean. these new slicks work really well when you keep loaded on the front. That's bonkers.
Yeah.
I can't get my head around that. And I'm not even fully technically aware, but that has made sense to me. And I've gone, you guys are insane.
Oh, modern race tires now are something else, mate. They got so much feel. So long as they're up to the right temperature and you got the right pressures, they got so much feel.
But 30 to 35 degree lean and still on 7 to 8 bar. I mean, that's just incredible. Just very quickly, because he's going to go. Chris Mason says, Josh, he says, good night. All see you Saturday. I won't see you, mate, but good to see it and good to hear from you, Chris Mason. He'll keep you guys all nice and safe there down in the Med Centre, and we love him for it. Incidentally, by the way, Mercury Motorcycle Training said, great plug for the skill school, Mr. Jones. So that's a positive one, but then a negative one is Craig O'Hara says 1981. I wasn't even a sperm then. No need for that, is there? To
No,
us,
there's not. No.
Last of the summer wine crew, is there?
Yeah.
But,
So
you've missed one of your plugs, Jonesy. You really have. You've talked about Mercury Motorcycles. You haven't talked about their rider who they support, which is Tyson Lewis, who is winning the newcomer series. And
right.
is, I think, a second position in the stock 1300 on the BMW, as long as it's back in one piece. And that's a product of that school as well.
Yes, that's right.
Technically, Chris, just to give you a quickie, Max Simmons, who runs a BMW, and he's probably one of the favourites for the King of Combe. They know through the telemetry as to how much the tyre pressure has moved, 1 psi, because they can tell because the back wheel is spinning. Now, Max is such a runner, and Joe Simmons, who is a former champion at NG, they examine all the data. I saw the guys from TCR, and they told me about all their data because they were up in the media centre, and I was gobsmacked how taking off of every car for every race. Now, this is exactly the same sort of thing. So as soon as the tyre pressure goes up by about 1 psi, Max knows that the back wheel is starting to spin, so he knows the tyre pressure is going up. So he has to alter the riding style accordingly. And this is where the technicalities of these bikes come in. There is no short video on these things, so you can't tell the pits, oh, this is doing this is doing that, this is doing the other. It's down to sheer rider bum-on-seat skills from this moment onwards. And that's the good bit about motorcycle racing. It is still down, despite all the technicalities, down to rider ability. I think there is a couple of things that come from this, and I can Rob talking about the sidecars. Never mind about getting you in a car. We've got to get you out in a sidecar at some stage. One lap, that'll be it, because we'll have to then cart you off to the local infirmary or the Peter Baskett Medical Centre. It's brilliant. I've had a go. I've had a go, not around the full track, but I've had a go, and you can't see a damn thing, and it's brilliant. And I would do it again in a heartbeat because I am stupid, proper stupid. But it is something really spectacular.
Now we're going to get loads of messages.
We haven't got any sidecars, unfortunately, but there you go.
Yeah, it's a shame that. Just quickly, by the way, I'm going to jump back to Rob, because, Rob, it was brought up then, and then you never got to say anything about it. This rider from the Mercury Motorcycle Training that Martin brought up then.
Yeah, well, Tyson's a product of that.
Tyson.
One of Tyson Lewis. He did the skill school when I think it was on the first one we did, actually, and he's got a bit of natural talent anyway, but he's sort of gone from strength to strength. But at the moment, he did have a big off at Cadwell. But yeah, I mean, we had a couple of racers on the last one, Tyler Smith. So it's actually the group that Neil runs is actually proving to be quite beneficial to racers. So yeah, it's all good stuff. I'll just mention that Dave, who runs Mercury, is racing the weekend at Castle Combe. He's been doing the No Limits endurance racing, which I've done some spannering for him, But he's actually doing his first short circuit race, so he's got to do a grid start on Saturday. Good luck, Dave.
I'm worried that you've been teaching him now, though, Rob. That's what worries
Yeah, I'll
me.
teach him a jump start. Yeah.
Martin, probably one from you. I wanted to ask this question because I might have been misinterpreting this, but I get the impression this is quite a big deal. Ducati Desmo Dew. This is a new thing this year, is it? And sort of almost piloting for going bigger next year. Am I interpreting that right?
Sorry, Chris, you're just cracking up. Was that Ducati Desmo Dew?
Yeah, is that like is that the one that's like quite a new thing and they're trying to make it go bigger?
I tell you what, we've got two classes. Now, I don't know which class you would. What would you class in the four-wheel side of things, which is like I call Combe Hot Hatch, right?
Yeah.
A budget class. Okay, we've got two classes. Bandits, which is completely bonkers. You wouldn't believe some of the racing we get in that. You would not believe it at all. It would make your hair stand on end, even though you're probably slightly more than Rob at the moment, because I think he's had his polish today.
Me too.
Ducati Desmo Dues, right? Is 620 and 100cc Ducatis. There's an A and a B class. The 620s are 620 cc's, fuel injected. The 600s were the first bike, which was 600 cc's carburetted. So slightly more horsepower in the fuel injection units. Budget class, absolute budget class. Control time, can't do anything to the engines, do whatever you like to the outside, to the bodywork. And I can hear Rob gagging to mention the words Dominic Can on this one. Because that's his favourite ride, and again a product of Castle Combe, local rider whose birthday is today.
Happy birthday,
brilliant racing. Yeah. You can come round in the lead and have 5 bike behind you. Come the end of the next lap, you're in 4th or 5th position, and we don't know why, because they're all equally balanced out. It's a Formula Ford. Some people would go quicker, etc. It's a fantastic run. It's run by Kevin Ellis. He is a coordinator and he still races. We have full grid for that, like we do for all of our formulas throughout this weekend. We got full. Sat there and I looked at the first one that came up to me, which is the Mini Twins. They are first out with the Open 500s. The Mini Twins, which are 650 Suzuki SVs, full grid, 30 plus machines. It's just going to be a bun fight out there. It really is. Robbie's going to have an absolutely appalling time on the first lap. All I'm going to hear is this gibbering going on, and I'm saying, watch the screen. And it's going to be one of those ones because they come out of the S's fast. And this is the thing we like about Combe. You can catch, right, you know where you can see stuff, Chris, from being number one, but I think number two is better because you catch them off the start. You miss them through Avon Rise and through Folly. You catch them coming out of quarry down to the S's. They go past you at Old Paddock and you catch them down. Depending on the height of what's growing out there, the weeds, the foliage or otherwise, you can catch them through the 2 chicanes. You can see heads. So you know when somebody's gone down because all of a sudden the crash helmet disappears. By that time, they're perfectly back to me. So number 2 is a brilliant viewing point for this. But yeah. Our budget formulas are not slow. I kid you not. They are not slow at all.
No, I mean, it does sound incredible. Mercury Motorcycle Train said, looking forward to it, I think, but also said it's going to be a baptism of fire in the axe murderers class.
Yes.
What's that?
That's the 600.
That's banned now. That's banned.
Yeah,
you know he's banned, Mr. Jones.
I got in trouble for that one, didn't I?
Yeah. You're not allowed to call him that.
Yeah,
no, I got a little bit in trouble.
That was a quote many years ago from James Whittam, who is a brilliant commentator, was a great racer as well, and taking on World Superbike Championship, of which the 600s are a support class. God help us. And somebody asked him, I think it was Jack Bernicle, who again is a legend of a commentator. He said, "What's it like racing in this class?" And Whittam replied, he says, "It's like racing with a bunch of axe murderers." And because it is that close, it's Formula Ford on two wheels. It really is. That's the only way I can describe it to you. Formula Ford on two wheels. Our 600 class is that far away from having a champion this year at Combe, and that is a local guy by the name of George Edwards, who is run by Dan Cooper Racing. It's his second year of racing. He won the Newcomers Championship last year. He was a former motocross rider. He's brilliant. The family are absolutely, Rachel and Neil are fantastic. Neil, morning ritual. He'll be out there standing outside Dan Cooper's awning, cup of tea in one hand, fag in the other hand. You can tell he's a builder. But they are such a nice group of people. I want to keep hold of them forever. I want to say to somebody give him a bigger bike where he races with us. But he has moved up to BSB last year, tried a bit of stock 600, which is the junior 600 class. Didn't disgrace himself, held on in with a different bike and a different team. He is one of our future. I'm sure he is. He really is a cracking rider.
Definitely.
I like the sound of that. That does sound good. Question that's come up here. This is a great question, and I'm going to start answering this one and then hand over to you guys from the biker's perspective. Never seen bikes at Combe. Always promised I would but usually on holiday, says John Mitchell. Where is the best viewing point for bikes? Now, before you guys answer that with specifics, give you chance to think. What I will say, and John, I'm sure you know this already, but one of the best things about Combe is you can walk all the way round. And one of the best things to be able to do at Combe generally is stop for a little while at somewhere, walk on, stop and watch something and move on and do that. So you get to see a number of places. I would like to include not necessarily a place to stop for a long time, but stop on the crest of Avon Rise. Because Definitely. It is mind-blowing on 2 and 4 wheels. It isn't necessarily a place to stay the whole day, but just stand there and watch the speed they come up the hill. You've then got a crest of a hill where they'll go light and then come back down again. Not necessarily get air, but they'll go very light before then throwing the anchors out the back for a very challenging quarry corner. That, you have to have a look at that because it will blow your mind the speed they do. But gents, in terms of corners, tell us. I'm going to start with Martin. Where for you is the best viewing point?
I agree with you entirely on that one, Chris. Start at Avon Rise because you're going to get them off the start line, and as we've said, bikes start blooming quickly, to put it very, very politely. They will be in top before they even got up to Avon Rise, especially if you're running with the 600s or the 1000s. Anything that's got, dare I say, a big engine, it will be pulling like a train up there. Then you sort of like just walk your way round up into Quarry, watch them through Quarry. Obviously, it's a double apex corner. Everybody gets it wrong. I remember one bike, it was one of the SV650s, no brakes into Quarry, 120 miles an hour, straight into the rectocell barriers, walked away, and then the bike was repaired for the next meeting. Walk your way down. Obviously, the viewing is absolutely excellent because we've got this walkway that looks on top of the track down towards the S's. And to see people coming in there, putting the power on and then getting on the anchors very, very quickly and literally it from left to right to again, and then go down probably to Old and see the speed that they kick up through there. We saw backwards and forwards between that lot. You will not be disappointed, and you will come back to Combe again, probably on the August bank holiday for the cars as well.
Yeah, and I do love that along Farm Straight between Quarry and the S's and Old Paddock. Even before you get to the S's, is that you're looking down on the bikes. It's amazing to watch that. Rob, your perspective?
Yeah, Tower for me. if you want to see some outbreaking manoeuvres, you'll see people stuffing it straight up the inside going in the tower, and that is quite an exciting part to watch. As Martin said, up at the top of Avon Rise, but I actually like standing up on the bank just at the exit of Folly, because you can see the sense of speed as they go through Folly. Because honestly, on a bike, mate, and especially on a 1000cc bike, it's something else going through there. If you've got the line right, it is so fast. And anyone who says it doesn't make the air stand up on the back of the neck is lying.
Well, interesting though, we've had other comments come in. So RE Performance UK. Who did you say that was, Martin?
That's Ricky Elder.
Ricky Elder, of course.
Sorry, yeah. Hammer down to tower.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you're stuck in four wheels, I've done that. I was taken out by one of the, on the action days, the charity drivers, Chris.
Yep.
I got taken out by one of their drivers who looked like a spotty 16-year-old with ginger hair. And I thought, and they said, "Oh, this is Martin. He's the commentator. Take him out for a ride." His eyes lit up.
Oh, you're always in trouble when they say that.
I thought, oh, we're in trouble. By the time we got out of pit lane, the thing was squirreling around all over the place from side to side. This was a full house fiesta. We got through Quarry, no problem at all on the first lap. We got down through the S's, rode over the curbs, rattled my brains around, and I went past and I thought, oh, look, that's where I commentate from. And then I was lost completely. And then we came down to Tower, and this was on open track. So there was a couple of other normal cars out there doing their track day. I thought, yeah, plenty of space. And the next thing, I getting really close to those cars, and the braking is always the braking, and we just braked and dropped down to the inside, and I slightly held my breath on that. And that is a place to watch people, because they will try. If you get your nose in front at Tower, you can normally hold it through Bobby's Eyebrook, and somebody else will be really annoyed behind you. And that's where the bikes will challenge, because we've got a bit more room. Evidently, we're sort of like missing two wheels. That's where they will challenge there. But Camp Corner is still one for me. We saw all sorts of antics at the last meeting, TCRs and the Civics and everything.
Yeah.
It's still a incredibly quick corner, despite the fact we haven't got the infamous bump in the middle of it, which has sent people all over the place. But it's still a cracking corner.
And apparently there is still one thing you always have to be mindful of. I'm trying to remember whether it's on the apex or just after it. There is a seam that is there from where they re-tarmacked it. Rob, you're nodding. You've experienced that, have you? Is it just after, or is it on the apex?
It's just after it.
Yeah. It's quite significant, and as well, ironically, just where they've re-tarmacked, and there was a sort of like, done at different stages. It's just a slight, because we had the sports cars that were there, and they thought they were going to break the outright lap record, but hitting that as you came out just unsettled them enough as they came out of that flat out Camp Corner, and it's understandable.
Obviously, some of the things that affect the cars don't affect the bikes, because the lines are slightly different.
Well, one thing that I remember, though, talking about camp, is that quite a few years ago, I was there watching the bikes, and I happened to wander around, and I suddenly got to Camp Corner, and it started. Now, when I say raining, my vague recollection is that it wasn't full-on rain, but it was a bit more than a sprinkling, and that was it. Whoosh, 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 loads of them off as soon as they got to there, and it's quite a terrifying sight and sound as well. Actually, it was nice sound to listen to either, but it's a challenging one. Craig O'Harris says the best place to watch is from behind the bars. I'm assuming he means behind the handlebars rather than from behind the drinking bars, to be fair, but I get that. Actually, I'm going to change this, because that was from both YouTube and on Facebook. David Scott Carson says, I'm looking forward to a great weekend racing in 600 and Super Twins. So that's good. Good to hear.
Yeah,
John
Dave
Mitchell asked
Carson's going to.
Sorry, go on, mate. Go on, Martin.
Yeah, Dave Carson's will look forward to racing this weekend, obviously, because he's leading the blooming championship in Super Twins as well. Yeah, extremely good, well-drilled team, and I'm going to be looking towards him to almost wrapping championship up on that one. So, yeah, Dave, we will see. He is an elusive person. We cannot find him in the paddock. He normally goes by somewhere else. We can't find him until he's packing up on the Sunday. So that's going to be my mission, because I'm going to be down there from about Thursday onwards. So watch out, people. Yeah, nobody's going to be slow. This is why people love us.
Sorry, Martin. I was going to say, James Cleary says, thank you for the mention. Can't wait for the weekend with the team. Massive thanks to Rob for being an amazing instructor for my dad. So there you go, Rob. Another big shout out, mate.
Yeah, brilliant.
Great to see that. And John Mitchell, who asked the original question about the best place to watch, says, many thanks. Seen cars many times. I thought that I got the impression that might be the case, John. So you know what I mean about walking around, and some of the guys confirm that. Love Combe, must lock in the bikes. You really do. I'm gutted that, not just that I'm not part of the commentary team because I'm away, but I can't just go and watch. I remember a few years ago I had a weekend off, very rare weekend off, as Martin in particular knows. I'm commentating somewhere pretty much every single weekend, mainly on four wheels. And I had this very rare weekend off, and I'm not sure how I did this with not getting in trouble with the current Mrs. Dawes, as I call her, and Diddy Dawes, my young daughter, in that I actually escaped down there. Just one of the days, I just went down just to watch the bikes. It was nice to just go down. It was not working. I think there was something going on in my life. I don't remember what it was. I just remember being not in a dark place, but not in an amazing place at that time. And it was absolute soup for the soul on the spectators bank. And I remember doing Farm Straight, taking some amazing photos, looking down at the bikes coming out of quarry and all across. It is just pure escapism as a race weekend, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is. So lock it in, John Mitchell. Get down there. Sorry, Martin.
Yeah, John. You will not be sorry, Chris. Because we're all breaking up left, right, and centre. You will, John. I guarantee you, if you're disappointed, go and see Rob out the back out at Old Paddock. No, you won't be disappointed. If we've got dry weather, we'll be absolutely on the button, or as Rob would say, it'll be absolutely mate.
It'll be mint.
It'll be mint. It'll be mint. But Martin, you say about if we got dry weather, I'm just going to bring up a couple of messages here. Craig O'Harris says, "Who's looking forward to the rain Sunday?" And he's put his hand up. Mark Wardle has said, "Like a bit of rain." So they don't all want it.
No.
I must admit, in my day,
see this
a bit of a bit of rain actually is a big leveler, because you don't need the power in the rain. It's about being smooth, and to be honest, I've had some of my better results in the rain.
A question for you then, Rob, is that in four-wheel racing, we've always got this phrase that the drivers hate a little bit of rain. They would rather it's either one thing or the other. Is that the same on two wheels?
It is really, yeah. You don't want damp patches or anything like that, because it's tyre choice. You don't know what tyres to put on. When it's raining, a full set of proper wets, a soft compound wet is something else, mate. It's like riding in the dry. You just got to be very, very smooth. You still get your knee on the floor and things like that, but you just got to be very, very smooth. And it's amazing. It takes, when you first start riding on proper wet, you've got to get it into your head that you can still lean the thing right over, But once you get in the hang of it, and to be honest, I've actually had some better results in the wet. So.
And you quite often get that in all forms of racing, don't you? Yeah. You get the rainmeisters, and that's the way they love it. I mean, Adrian Ridewood says, "Bring on the rain for Chubba." Love it. Yeah. Slight change of tone, though. Lewis Rees says, "Mark Wardle, we all know you like it wet." Not getting involved. Nothing to do with me. Will Birchall says, "First weekend back for me after Donny crash. Can't wait."
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
good rider, Will Birchall. Yeah, really good rider. He was championship material, and then he had some really bad luck at Donington. I take it he's going to be out on his 600. He will give him a hard time. He's a really good rider. Very nice, personable rider. You can go up to probably most of our riders. If you wanted to do the ABC of motorcycle racing, Chris, you wouldn't do much better than go and wander around an NG pit, to be quite honest, because everybody, despite the fact they wouldn't know, actually we'd let them know you were coming round, they would still want to talk to you, and they would let you know about everything. By the time you've done half a season, you'll probably know more about their families than their families know about them. Really is a cracking rider, has some really bad luck at Donington. So yeah, I've seen you on the entry list. I will come round behind you and talk to you. Really pleased to see you back, mate.
I definitely love the sound of it. I think the bike commentary that I did was no limit. So NG, if you want to sort of level that playing field and get me to sort of cover some of you guys, you know, we've got to make sure. I do love bike racing. It's a totally different gravy to commentate on than big GT cars and things like that. It's great to do it, but I'd love to do the bikes again. David Scott Carson, cheers for the mention. I'll be trying to park somewhere near the scrutineering bay this weekend. There sounds like there's a story there.
That's where I might be.
Huh.
Yeah.
Is there a story there, Rob?
We'll catch up with you, David, very, very soon.
I don't know, but I don't know whether he has to make regular visits to the scrutineering bay by the looks of that.
Fair enough. Adrian Ridewood says, hi all, can't wait for the weekend. TCR racing.
Yeah.
I've
got to say, it'd be great to see Aaron back out on a bike. The poor kids haven't had much luck, really, because he got that lovely BMW already for the start of the season, and was promised quite a decent sponsorship package, and at the last minute they sort of pulled the plug, and it's such a pity because Aaron is a good rider. I'm not just saying him because he's a friend or whatever that, but he's a talented young rider. But you need the sponsorship. You just can't do it, you know. Especially I spannered for him at some Supersport rounds and the Moto 2 bike that his dad built. I helped them hit the circuit with that, and he's always put in a good performance. But sadly, without sponsorship, you just can't do it, mate.
No, I agree. Daniel Norris is looking forward to leaning my way around Castle Combe Circuit, a new circuit for me.
Yeah, we'll come out and do the track walk with us on Friday night, 6 o'clock. Meet at the Avon Bridge
with beer in hand. I know.
With beer in hand. Well, no, I'm not doing that because last time I got halfway round and I wanted to pee, and I had to do the quickest track walk I've ever done.
I'm not going to even make a comment to that. Don't, Martin. Martin, I can see you looking. Just let it go. Just let it go. Let it go. Emma says she's putting in a word with father. He won't want the rain.
Yeah.
That'll upset a few of the riders by the sound of it.
That's right.
Hence, yeah, Craig O'Harris says, I want the rain. Give me a chance at a trophy. That's what he said.
Did we mention earlier on, seeing Craig O'Harris there, did we mention about the pink stuff earlier on? Because I had a few technical issues, and
I'm going to change this up.
All that.
Yeah, no, and I'm going to change it. And Martin, give you stage. Cue the pink.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think Martin's got problems.
This is a guy. I don't know. Craig is a lunatic. Let's see this polite way I can put it. He's a lunatic in the wet. He was riding at Keys' local track in absolutely torrential conditions on a 600 Bandit in the Newcomers series. He was chasing bikes with twice the brake horsepower, a BMW 1000 and an R1 Yamaha, and he was gaining on them. We just ran out of laps, and I was looking on, and I was when you know your riders and you know your drivers, all of it you get very emotional and very protective, and I was getting worried about him because he was going way too quick. He was on a 600 Bandit, for God's sake, and he was going like an idiot. But people, I don't know whether you've got the saying, Chris. Some people, when they drive a car, or ride a bike, they have web feet. They've got a feel for the web. They like it when it's moving around all over the place and it's slipping and sliding and the wheels are slightly spinning. But wet tyre technology for the bikes as well as the car has come up absolutely leaps and bounds. So you're clearing so much rain out of the way. But still, as a commentator, a former rider who is an absolute craven coward now, you feel worried about these guys, and do they know what they're doing? Can they see where they're going through a huge, great ball of spray, chasing something which they wouldn't get near to? But yeah, Craig is one of these people. If it poured down with rain, he would go home with a host of silverware. It's one of those things. There we go. Look, I beat the BMW. I beat the BMW. Only the R1 beat me. Yeah, that's because I forgot about that, right? I wanted to erase it from my with people that can go very Preble. He's in the pre-injection 600. I can remember it last year, I think it was. It rained before his race, and he cleared off on a 600 Bandit in front of a whole load of R6 Yamahas, which are basically production race bikes. And he disappeared off on what is basically, Rob says it's a Suzuki part spin special. Bandit can do everything it says on the tin. It was meant to be mutable. It's just evolved way with the series that's been put together. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Martin will agree with me. It's probably one of the best races of the day, Martin, isn't it, the Bandits? I mean, my first time commentating a couple of years ago at Castle Combe, when you said, "Here's the Bandits coming," and they came into the S's, and I thought, my God, who's in the lead? It's like 30-odd bikes, and they're all going for the same piece of tarmac.
Yeah, because normally, Rob, you were sort of like confined to the paddock, weren't you? You never really got to see it and enjoy it as much as the rest of us.
Mate, I've watched racing so close now. I I've a lifelong passion of racing, but when you're in the commentary box, you watch it really closely. And you don't just see what's going on. You don't see what's going on at the front. You see all these battles going right the way down through the field, and it's absolutely brilliant. And do you know what? If you can go home after a weekend's racing, if you finish 28th and you had a scrap with a bloke in 29th and you beat him, it's a good weekend.
100%.
And that's what it's all about.
It is. That's the same across the board. Just quickly, Martin, before, and I want you to talk about this, the pink charity thing that's going to go on, purely because, where was it? Because Lewis Rees, says, Craig O'Harris, massive respect for what you've done for Jenny and the charity, mega mate. But let's come back to that because I want you to go into detail about this. But just quickly, a couple of comments. Andy Abrams says, love watching the bikes at Combe, and he's someone I know well that races cars all over the place. Can remember Dad taking me up there as a kid, watching the likes of Bill Bodis, etc.
Bill Bodis, he's famous, mate. The Bodis family. Yeah.
Sidecar legends, absolute sidecar legends. We've reduced some champions and some legends and some more world champions than I think we can shake a hairy stick at in sidecar cars for this country.
But a hairy stick.
Yeah, it really is. Everybody sort of like thought the sidecars were a bit sort of second, because when they were running BSA's Triumphs and all sorts of things like that, everybody said, well, put them on the back end of the program because they drip oil all over the place and do all sorts of. We've had some amazing outfits. The Bodis family have been one of those. The Hanks family is another. We've got one of the Hankses racing in junior Supersport as well. They've been brilliant, and all sorts of people. And I kid you not, Rob, you will probably get Kenny Arthur turn up down your part of the world, sitting down at your corner. I will be very surprised. He was. Who did he partner? Ralph Billand, didn't he? World champion.
Ralph Billand, world champion and an innovator of sidecar racing back in the 80s when they used to have the B2B class. There used to be two classes of sidecar back then.
Alpha car, as we used to call them.
Yeah, that's right.
And of course, we did have a couple of rounds of World Sidecar Championship rounds, didn't we? At Combe for a few years. That was amazing. Just quickly, Martin, before you do that, let me just put these up. John Weaver says, "Shame I'm working again. Hope to get back into it next year. Missing the racing paddock and the MG family, so that's nice."
Absolutely.
We don't need to say this because we've covered it, but I will say Lee Davis says, "Evening, gents. Martin asked Rob Jones about his jump starts." Lee, you're going to have to watch the show back again because we did it at the start. We've already done that, mate.
He's going to get some stick Friday night, mate.
Yeah.
No, that's going to happen, right? That's going to happen on Friday, guys, and we'll tell you absolutely right at the end on this one. Going back to one of the comments that was mentioned about, and this is something we've got to touch on because we're going to be going completely bonkers this weekend. One of our photographers, Jenny Triker Wells, as she was more well, succumbed to cancer very, very quickly, like about 2 months this year. She used to photograph virtually everything, was the official photographer of the Bandits, etc. Always seen around the paddock. It touched a number of people, and Craig Harris, who we've been talking about, and a number of the other Bandit riders have put together the Racing in Pink weekend for us. They did it before, I think about 3 years ago at Donington, and it raised some money for cancer relief. We have started to do the same all over again. I've thrown my weight behind it because we know too many people that have succumbed to cancer. Some people that are still going through the process. Local last, I think it's less than a year, with Nigel Manning Morton, the local to Castle Combe, was a regular with NG, succumbed to bowel cancer. We've got Jenny, we've got Neil Appleton, who's going through stage 4 bowel cancer. I've been lucky. I had prostate cancer about, that's 2017. Thank goodness it was in the season. That's all I can say. I got through it. I'm fine. We are raising as much money as is humanly possible for this cause. There has been T-shirts that are going to be on sale with the Racing in Pink logo. They'll be available from Keith Chambers at the Bandit stand. Craig doing his utmost, as has a lot of other people. I would really like to thank Phil Spencer, because I approached him literally out of the blue at the BSB meeting at Thruxton last weekend, and he has done brilliantly for us. We have purloined, begged, borrowed, stolen bits of BS kits off of riders for the raffle, which is online on Facebook. If you go to Formula Pro Stock on Facebook, you will find all the links down there, or we'll put them back on again. Just to give you an idea, my stockpile is at the present moment in time, which I'm bringing along. These are a pair of gloves signed by Cadwell record holder for NG, Joe Sheldon Shaw, who races in BSB in Stock 1000. Just approached him. All I wanted was a T-shirt, and he gave me these things. These are signed. They don't fit me, so I'm going to have to give them away. This is a little piece de resistance which I got through one junior Supersport riders who races for McCann's, Harry Cook. This is a T-shirt which has been signed up in that top corner by Jason O'Halloran. Then you go down to there. That has been signed by Taron McKenzie. This is gold dust. This is what we're putting up for auction. It won't fit me. It's a small size, so I'm going to have to give it away. We've got loads of stuff. We've got knee sliders. We've got a full set of leathers from Ash Barnes, who is a 600cc rider up in SB. We've got boots from Bradley Ray, who races in British Superbike. We've got me Broadly around this weekend, who I am going to try and drag as much of his kit out of it as much as possible and sign everything so we can raffle this stuff off. We've got a pair of tickets from True Heroes Racing, for a full package for BSB with them. Now, these guys are going to be here this weekend, and Phil Spencer, as soon as I said, look, I want to email that. He said, do you want a pair of tickets for a BSB round of your choice and hospitality with us? I was almost speechless. This is what we're doing. We're having a parade on Sunday as well, so we get the photo opportunity. Myself, Rob, John Cooper, God help us, this is Rob's idea, not mine. I'm going to disown it straight away. We're having an open session of racer talk in Cafe Bar H at 8 o'clock on Friday. We're not charging for it. God knows we want to hear us talking about it, especially Rob after all his escapades. But give a donation. That's all we're asking. Give a donation to the cause. It is a horrible disease, and I'm sure, Chris, you know probably somebody through the paddock or through anywhere else that suffers from cancer. As the more we can get money into the pot for this, the more research can be done, and everything is going to go back to them. There is no cost going to anybody. All the money is profit. I'm sounding like Bob Geldof at the moment on Live Aid, but if you can, please do buy a T-shirt, pop some money into the raffle. Pop some money into a bucket. I think we may have a couple of buckets going up to Quarry and up to camp during the racing or when the parade is on. We are going to try and turn Combe absolutely bright pink this weekend. Mick Jones has got a T-shirt that he's going to wear. My one has disappeared. I think it's been put under wraps with certain logos on them. I think Rob's is retired mechanic. Fix it yourself, something of that nature.
It is, yeah.
And the wig as well. So I know I'm rambling. I know I'm going on, but
I have a pink afro wig.
Yeah, your wife asked you about the pink wig and was rather suspicious about that. So yeah, we'll have to put that one to rest. Perhaps we'll give it to Matt Jones and Lewis Reese. I don't know, but this is where we go into this weekend in amongst racing, in and amongst the King of Combe and all the rest of it. We are trying to fundraise like hell for the people we've known, for the people we know, and for anybody else around us.
Yeah, no, totally agree. Sadly, it's very close to home at the minute for reasons I don't want to go into. But yeah, please, guys. So let's turn Combe pink. It's absolutely brilliant. Craig O'Hara says, tearing up, guys, means so much. Losing a friend last week to it really drilled it home. What we're doing, thank you everyone who has donated and got tickets. We're over £1,400 so far and raising every day. Much love to everyone and the paddock.
Excellent.
Well done, mate. Well done, mate. Keep it going. Richard James Hewitt said pink keenies. That would be good as well. Let's. I don't care as long as it's pink. As long as it's raising money. Let's do it.
You don't want to see Richard Hewitt in his mankini. You really don't.
I'm trying not to think about it, Rob. Just let it go. Try not to think about it at all. But gents, I want to bring us towards a wrap up. Is there anything with regards to the race program itself, the race entries that we haven't covered? First of all, Martin, from you.
I think we've almost hit every nail on the head, to be quite honest. We've a bit of paper. Where is it? Bit of paper. Let's do the official stuff. Otherwise, Emma will land me along the way. Okay. If you go on the website, etc., and it comes up with all tickets are sold out, advanced tickets are sold out. On the day, absolutely. Get out there, get here on the day. It's still available. You can get into the circuit on Saturday and Sunday. We're not going to stop you, for goodness sake. Admission prices, Saturday for an adult is 25, Sunday is 30, the weekend is 40. Come for the weekend, you'll love it. Apart from listening to myself and Joan getting completely apoplectic. Seniors, I can apply for this now. 20 on the Saturday, 25 on the Sunday, 30 quid for the weekend. Absolutely value for money. What is it? Under 40, under whatever.
17. Under 17s are free.
Yeah. are free. Bring the kids. Let them loose around the circuit. Let them wander off. Lose them. Sell them on eBay. Whatever. Yeah, we don't charge for kids. There is no admission to the paddock. You can go around and see that. The only places you can't go is race control, Rob's commentary box, and mine.
And incidentally, just to correct Martin's comment,
put the address on. Big up later on.
But
no,
Martin said no admission to the paddock. He actually meant no admission fee to the paddock. That's the key thing. Is that get down, get in there. You absolutely can get in there. It's critical, and not so much that it's sold out for advance tickets. It's just that it has a point where it's closed.
No.
That is now closed. It's going to be a cracking crowd, a cracking atmosphere, as it always is at Combe. I know, for example, thank you, John Mitchell made the comment. Thank guys for an excellent evening's entertainment. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you stay glued, John Mitchell, to all the other Combe TVs, because I haven't seen you comment before. So make sure you watch all the others. This is episode 62, for goodness sake. I started this at the beginning of lockdown with Tom Davis to sort of like keep everybody involved, and I've been told I'm not allowed to stop it now, which is a lovely compliment.
No,
it takes a lot of work.
No, but, not allowed.
No, it would appear that way.
You're not allowed. You're not allowed. It's as simple as that. You're not allowed. Plus the fact you'd turn teetotal as well. I mean, I've gone through one large one. I must admit, it was a large one. It was a large one. Well, I think that must have been shaken at the time. Jonesy's teetotal. We've dragged him away from his track day, which meant no beer for him. So he's going to go on the sauce later on. I will mention. And I'll mention it to anybody that's listening. John Mitchell, all the guys, I'll be going around the paddock and all the rest of it. Come and see us on Friday. We are going to have a blast. We are the C, so please don't bring children. That's why we've called it at 8 o'clock. That's why it's in the bar. You can heckle Jonesy as much as you like. That's great. I'm going to try and hold this thing together like you've been trying to do tonight, Chris. We'll have John Cooper, who is Dan Cooper's dad, who has had more experiences around racetracks than Rob. And this has come about by the two of them getting together at every single racetrack from Donington Park onwards. All of a sudden, just a pattern that they will get in the bar and relive everything back to about the Napoleonic Wars. Now, when the rest of the team leave en masse, as they normally do at Cadwell, I just saw Dan Cooper and all his mechanics and all the helpers just get up and go and leave them there. And they were still talking and drinking. This is the thing. And I go across to Rob and I said, "You're on duty tomorrow. No more drink." And he goes, "Oh, no. I won't have any more." And of course, I got my eye on him and there's nothing down the throat. And then that's it. He's off. But yeah, I mean, fair play. Talking about Rob as a commentator, I have never seen anybody so excitable in my life. He stands there, and when he talks to you, despite the fact you've got a headset mic on, he stands 6 inches away from your face and just points his face at you. And I'm going, watch the track. And he's standing in Donington, and we're watching down to Redgate, and he's right in front of us. I moved to the side, and then all of a sudden, he saw a back marker doing something unusual because he's, like I said, he's very excitable. And then all of a sudden, you get the heart attack. Oh, hands up in the air, and I can't get a damn thing. Like doing this and looking around on him. Oh, it's just been an absolute pleasure. It really has, mate. It really has. It's been Chris, a laugh. Yeah, I'm going to put him with you.
Oh, I'd love it. You know I would. I'd love it. I don't know why, but I've got in my head the image of a Jack Russell humping your leg. It's that kind of feel. Stop. Right, Martin.
As near as damn it. Go on, mate.
Right, Martin. I'm going to put you on mute because you're dangerous and I need to wrap up this one up. So I'm going to put you on mute. You stay there and I'll unmute you in a minute. But I'm going to move Rob to the centre. Any last words from you, mate, ahead of this weekend?
Come along and see a great weekend's racing. It'll be. It's always a good one, the King of Combe. Come into the paddock, have a chat with the teams. They're really approachable bike people. Go and have a chat with them. And before we go, I've got to give out a few little shouts. We got Neil Sutton, my partner in crime, doing the ACU courses. He's racing a lovely Oxford 888 Ducati this weekend. Watch him. He's a lap record holder, or he has been. He don't race very often, but he's pretty quick. So he'll be out. A shout for Tim Hawkins, another one of our instructors. He's out in the over 55 class in the Bandits. And Aid Warbridge, he'll be out in the Streetstocks. All products at Castle Combe Circuit.
Just very quickly on that front, and apologies, Martin, but you're muted for bad behaviour, so you're going to have to leave Rob to answer this one. Is you just touched on a key point? Is that we've been talking, not necessarily deliberately, but we've certainly happened to have mentioned details of modern machinery. But there's some incredible classic machinery going to be out this weekend, isn't there?
Yeah, we got the Lansdowne Classic. So Max Norton's. I think there's some Gold Stars. There is G50 Matchlesses. I think on the last time I've seen them out, there was a Vincent, Triumph. They're mint, mate. They look old, but inside they're using a lot of modern technology now, like titanium and magnesium engine casings and what have you. They're not slow, mate. They're quick bikes.
And beautiful, absolutely beautiful, aren't they?
Yeah,
really
lovely prepared. Yeah, lovely prepared.
Well, the sort of final words I think really should go to this. Craig O'Hara says, search Racing in Pink on Facebook to find the page and all the details, guys. So search Racing in Pink on Facebook and you'll find out even more. And he also says £5 a ticket for the raffle can win you the hospitality weekend with True Heroes or Brad Ray's signed boots. Much love to all. And he also says check out MCN Paper also. Excuse me, we have a spread in there, which is absolutely brilliant. Well done, Craigo.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll be able to catch up with you at some point in person as well, mate, because you're doing an amazing job there. And please keep it going. Keep it going. Absolutely wonderful. Right. I'm scared to do this. I'm going to go with you first, Rob. Any final last words before we wrap up this show?
No, like I say, it's going to be a great weekend. I can't wait. I love it, even though I'm not riding now. It's nearly as good being in the comms box, actually. It's a lot safer.
Yeah, oh yes. Most of the time. Yeah, you're absolutely
it's been a pleasure. This season's been my first season. I must admit, I struggled at the start. I thought, am I doing the right thing when we did Alton Park? But I'm loving it now, and I'm spreading the Somerset tones throughout the country.
And I have to say, personally, Rob, I'm delighted about that because I know that 2019, when you did the first one, is that it was like I couldn't get there when there was someone needed. You were forced in at the 11th hour. I had no doubt I'd already interviewed you, hadn't I, by that point?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And I was like, without question, give the boy a mic, because at the end of the day, our job as a commentator is first and foremost to be fans of what we're watching. Secondly, to sort of tell the tale of what we're watching. Thirdly, get excited about it, which by the sounds of you humping like a Jack Russell, we're fine.
I'm afraid I do. Yeah. I'm over the top with that.
No, it's fine because you get excited at the right times. That's perfect. It's absolutely brilliant. And Martin knows this, and I know when I bring him in a minute, he's a key agreeer of this, is that it's entertainment first and foremost. What we do, it's not horse racing for crying out loud. It's entertainment, and Martin knows that I involve crowd and things like that as well. So, Rob, well done, mate. It's so good to see.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Yeah,
and have a wonderful weekend. So let me just swap and bring the banished boy back in again, Martin. You got to keep it to a minimum, but what's your last words for tonight?
Going back to where you were with Rob just a minute ago, he has dropped into what I call the Combe mould so perfectly, and also in a style of commentary which it is great to work with. The enthusiasm is unbelievable. He flinches and rides with every rider. He's bonkers. if he asks me one more time, am I doing it right? I'm going to thump him. He's been doing it great.
There is no
really
right or wrong.
It's been a difficult year for doing bits and pieces, but he is absolutely on the ball. He promotes his local role, and he will be so much at home out the back. It will be the best commentary we do, because he will be out the back 1.5 miles away from me, and I won't be able to have him by my side. To sum up, and I used to point that out to Russell as well, sum up on this one, for God's sake, if you've got nothing to do at the weekend, get down to us. We've got 2 bike races in this part of the world. One at Thruxton, which is just gone, which is BSB, and one at Combe. That is it. There is nothing else unless you go Brands Hatch or go up Donington or anywhere else like that, Alton Park, Cadwell, etc. This is our weekend. We always make our weekend special. This is NG's what I call home track. Since they went and what have you, this is the nearest thing to Gloucester that you will get. Be here. Enjoy yourself. Come and speak to anybody. You know, it's going to be a cracking weekend that I think, he says, fingers crossed, according to the office, it's going to stay with us. We're not going to get to Thruxton last weekend, where we'll be sweating like hell and we'll be searching for ice creams left, right and centre. It's going to be a wonderful weekend. The racing is fast. It's going to be close from the top of the field to the bottom of the field. And like I say, you can go around the paddock and you can speak to anybody. If you run life into your hands, you can speak to Rob if you can get away before it turns dark. And the same with me. We will basically, if you find us walking around the paddock, come and say hello. We will only tell you what's going on. As we put it, a racing family. And it really is a racing family. We look after our own. We look after everybody around us. I get very emotional about my riders, because I know that they're somebody's wife, girlfriend, partner, or whatever. It's the same as what we do down at Combe. It is Combe on 2 wheels. Full end of story. Come and see us the weekend. Love it.
Yeah, thanks, Martin. Thanks for keeping that to a few words. I appreciate it. Right, that is, guys, I've got to say thank you very much. Yep. Rob Jones, first of all, thank you for coming on tonight's show. And I know it was lastminute.com.
No, it's a pleasure, mate. An absolute pleasure.
No, I appreciate it. Have a great weekend. Martin, I know I've been winding you up, but thank you, mate. You know, we do it all the way. Incidentally, did you see that Sean Wynns decided to show up at the end of the show? Thanks for joining us, winner.
Yeah.
But thank you, Martin. Have a wonderful weekend. I'm going to put you guys in the green room for a second. Stay there, guys, because as soon as I go off live, then us three can just quickly chat afterwards. But guys, have a wonderful weekend. Let me put them back there before Martin starts speaking again. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed Combe TV. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm gutted I'm going to be missing this weekend for personal reasons that I'm somewhere else. But it's just wonderful to have Martin Bennett and Rob Jones on. And all your comments, all your interactions have been absolutely brilliant. Clearly, you're all really excited. Emma's going to look after you all, and the whole Strawford family are going to be looking down and keeping everyone safe. Have a wonderful time. Keep tuned to Combe TV, will you? Because this is episode 62. I know that, fine, this is 2 wheels, the others might be 4 wheels. That's not what it's about. It's an entertainment show, as hopefully you've seen. We have a giggle. We get all sorts of guests, and we're going to have all sorts of guests. Do you know there's also a talk of getting Rob Jones on for an after 9 p.m. show as well? I've been told that could be interesting. But on that note, I'm going to leave you to it. Guys, have a wonderful, wonderful time, and I will catch up with you all in due course. Good night, all.
Becoming a racing driver has never been easier with Castle Combe Circuit. Book your ARDS novice drivers training course at the Wiltshire venue today. The easiest and quickest way into competitive on-track action.
Welcome to Castle Combe. My name's Alan Cooper. I'm the Chief Driving Racing Instructor here at this circuit. We're here today to do the Novice Driver Training course, often known as the ARDS course, which is the first way to start off and get your racing driving licence. So, no further ado, let's get on and show you what's involved.
So you've seen the format. Everyone here today passed their tests and now have their racing licence. Who knows? The next time I see them could be as I commentate on them in front of the usual packed house of racing fans here at Castle Combe Circuit. All you need to do to be next is to visit castlecombecircuit.co.uk and select Become a Racing Driver under the Racing tab. Becoming a racing driver is easier than you think with Castle Combe Circuit and Motorsport UK.